Hey guys, we are Clinton and Charity Munoz, the hosts of Restored to More, and we are so excited to be with you and chat with you today.
Yes. Oh
What
my
are we
gosh.
talking about?
This is a topic that we've been asked about a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, these are a lot of people, and a major key in our recovery and our restorative story is understanding how to have a travel safety plan when you're traveling for work, when you're traveling even just for fun with a family. It's going, hey, how are we going to stay safe? Because so many couples had moments where betrayal took place, where actions took place that broke trust during travel.
yeah,
And so I work a lot with guys on building those. And I think you've even worked with wives creating those, correct?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so today is all about how do you build a safety plan when you're traveling that not
yeah,
only keeps you sober, but keeps you safe, keeps you accountable, and keeps you in a spot where you come back from that trip and you go, wow, we built some trust.
yeah,
So many times I think we look at these travel safety plans like, oh, they're a burden, they're an inconvenience. And the reality is like, yes, I get it. Like, yes, there's work that it takes, and it's an opportunity. And it's one of those burdens that becomes a blessing because what you have afterward is a spouse who was betrayed going, I trust you. I'm so glad that you're implementing new habits. You're building healthy rhythms. You're putting in healthy boundaries around what traveling looks like. And as the one who was unfaithful, you're going, man, I kept you safe, I was safe, and my trip was effective, and it helped me build business or the work
yeah,
that I have to do, and it was good all around. And that
yeah.
builds a man. You know, for me, it was the husband. For me, it built my confidence, it built my competency. It did so much once I had that plan in place.
Yeah, I think for me, even in our own story, like not only were you traveling, but I was traveling for work.
Yeah,
And like if I had a girls' weekend,
yeah,
then it was like, what do we do?
totally.
And so I think there was just a lot of anxiety around traveling if we
Oh,
weren't
totally,
together. Even
100%.
when we were together a little bit, because it depended on like where we were going. But
Yeah,
I think the biggest thing that we thought
yeah,
was we're never going to be able to travel again. Like
yep.
no more work trips, no more
Oh
girls'
yeah,
weekends, no more guys' weekends. And that was super sad.
super
We're
sad.
like, are we gonna, is this what our life's gonna look like?
Hundred
Because
percent.
I don't want that. So how do we navigate? For us, it was more the question of like, how do we continue to do life in the sphere of recovery in our relationship without going into a full on relapse or
Spiral.
spiral of triggers or
Yeah,
an argument and like
yeah,
hate it. We really
yeah.
wanted to be equipped. And we always have a saying, you probably heard us say multiple times. We'll probably say multiple of them on this podcast, but for sure is we would rather prepare than repair.
Yeah, that's so good.
We really wanted to prepare so that we weren't going to have to repair later down the road after the trip.
Yeah. And again, I love that you start with our personal story because I think that's so key to just why was it so important to us to create a safety plan, to implement a safety plan? And I mean, how many couples do we get to walk with? And we're like, oh, okay, you're traveling. Okay, you leave Thursday. Well, what's your safety plan?
Yeah.
And he looks at me like,
What?
uh, and then she's like, wait, you're right. I am feeling
Yes.
all this anxiety. I am feeling all this fear. And it's either spouse,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
because like
It's both.
obviously it's
It's
not
both.
about male female anymore, but it's like, oh, like which, and the reality is it's so true. And we learned that it was really, it needed to be implemented because it wasn't safe
Yeah.
and there
And
was
most
struggle.
spouses need safety plans.
Yeah,
Both of them do.
that's interesting for you to say because I feel like typically the one who struggles with addiction or the one who's unfaithful, like that's a no brainer. But I mean, why would you say that the betrayed spouse would need a safety plan?
For me personally, when I knew that you were going out of town and I was going to be home with the kids, I was terrified of, is he going to have access to pornography? Are there strip clubs around? Is he going to be in a hotel with a remote and access to TV 24/7? And for me, I also knew that I was going to be tapped emotionally and physically because I'm going to be at home doing everything, right?
Yeah,
And so for me, I put together a plan for myself, knowing like, how am I going to stay regulated? How am I going to stay safe? How am I going to continue to pour into myself so that I don't downward spiral and just knowing like, hey, I'm probably going to get triggered this weekend because trips in the past have not typically gone well. So
Yeah.
for me, it was not a matter of, oh, like
If I get
if I
triggered,
get
it's
triggered,
when.
it's probably I'm going to get triggered.
Yeah,
And what's my plan? How am I
that's good.
not going to go into full on attack of my kids, attacking you,
Yeah,
spiral, anxious thoughts, freaking out? So that's why I knew I needed to create a safety plan and travel plan for myself. And then you needed one as well.
I love that. You know, what I hear you saying is your safety and my safety, they're both kind of in question. How are you going to stay safe and regulated? Because again, right, obviously if I'm keeping our marriage safe by healthy practices, then you're going to feel a lot safer.
Yeah.
But you don't know. Like you just don't know what I'm doing. You don't
Mhm.
know if I'm being honest. You don't know what I'm trying to do. So there's just all these fears. So
Yeah.
so you're already triggered before I've even left
Yeah. Oh,
for the
yeah.
trip. And I think
Mhm.
that's true for
Mhm.
most spouses. And I
Mhm.
love what you said because I can just relate. And this is very personal. This is our story. But for me, if I traveled, it wasn't a matter of if I got triggered, it was when also. It wasn't a matter of like, okay, if I get triggered, then I should probably do these things. It was really like, okay, when I'm alone, there's a lot of triggers there. And I've walked with a lot of guys to go, man, that's pretty common. It's pretty normal to feel like just because we are isolated, there's a sense of like, oh, no one's here.
Mm.
Accountability is lessened. Oh, well, she's not right next to me. There's a lot more connection when we're together physically. And so since we're not connected physically and we're apart from each other physically, is that connection still there?
Yeah.
And that's when there's susceptibility in my life to go, oh, this is when I acted out, right? I
Mhm.
wasn't acting out when I felt like you were next to me and there
Mhm.
was togetherness. I acted out and I justified it when there was aloneness and I felt alone. And so thankfully, right, today we realize like there's no reason to really believe that. I might still feel that way, but we know that not all feelings are grounded in truth. They're not all based in validity. There's enough technology, enough ways to be proactive with a safety plan to go, I'm not alone. And obviously, even if we are apart physically, it's still me and my responsibility
Yeah.
to honor our vows, to build safety, to build trust in our relationship. And knowing that, okay, the reality is too, we have so much in place that's going to protect our marriage as far as even maybe protect our safety individually. Like, oh, we have a plan if a slip or relapse takes place,
Yeah.
that there's an active confession, there's things in place for like you knowing.
Mhm.
It's only a matter of time before you know the truth
Yeah.
and it's all going to come out. So
Yeah.
let's
Let's
talk
talk
about.
about what's on it.
Oh, that's good. Here you go. Great minutes think alike. It's like we're married or something.
Yes.
All right. So, what does that look like? Right? What does a safety plan look like? Well, I think there's a couple things to start with for a basis of what does a safety plan entail. I will say this a little like, important disclosure here or important factor is that every safety plan is very individualistic.
Yeah.
It's based off the individual. It's customized to your needs, what your guys' needs are as a relationship, as a couple, as an individual. There's two questions that I had right off the bat for each person that we're walking with this in. And it's what makes you susceptible to not staying sober, right? What makes you susceptible? I think it's really important that we just own, okay, these are the things that make me susceptible to temptation.
Mm.
And then we go, okay, well, let's avoid those things. Let's do our best job being proactive to go, okay, well, I know what makes me susceptible. I'm going to come in and I'm going to limit those things that make me susceptible. So that's the
Can you
first
give
thing.
some examples of what those are?
Yeah, I think for a lot of
Video, at
guys,
least.
well, and yeah, and for me and for other people that we walk with, I think the one of the biggest things is like having a TV in a hotel room, just having unregulated access. Right? There's no, we might have a lot of accountability on our software on our phones. I mean, I hope, right, we've taken steps at this point to go, okay, I'm not going to have, if we're in the middle of our struggle and we're still very susceptible going back to those behaviors, I don't want to have access on my phone to internet. I'm not going to have apps on my phone. But then you're given this remote control that's like, oh, you have access to whatever you want. And yeah, of course, if you're going to purchase things, that's going to show up on the bill, and but there's ways to get around all that stuff, and there's ways to find inappropriate content that isn't paid for content. And so then it's like, oh wow, I have access for the first time in a while. Maybe I have access that's unrestricted. And one of the best, so if that, for me, that's a susceptibility, like, oh, I'm susceptible there,
Mm.
hotel room with access that's unrestricted. And I think one of those examples of what to do about that is to turn in that remote. Today, we live in a smart TV world, right? You can't even turn on TVs or flip through channels unless you have a remote. And this is pretty common in most hotels. And so you might well turn on and off the TV, but you can't get away from like their ad screen that's like Here's the ad screen. You can't even get off of that if you don't have the remote. And I was walking with a guy, this is like years ago, and I was like, man, bro, like the best thing you can do is just walk up to the front desk and turn in your remote. Oh, and I'll never forget, like, bless his heart, he was terrified to do it. You're so worried about being judged and them
Well,
not
yeah, who does
understanding.
that?
No one does that, you know.
And you could justify it saying like, "Well, I'll just put it in the drawer next to me."
Oh,
Like,
totally. Oh, yeah. I'll just put it in that drawer and not open it. But it's like right there, right?
yeah,
It's like that elephant in the room or that burning desire, like, oh, the fruit's right there on the forbidden tree. It's just don't open the drawer. You know, and I think, okay, if your willpower is like there, okay, like that's again where it's all customizable based off
yeah,
someone's needs
yeah,
and where they're at. This guy walks down to the front desk, and you know what? I wish this story went a little better. The people didn't understand what he was doing, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay. It won't turn on unless you use the remote." And he's like, "No, I don't want the remote." And then they didn't understand English too well, and it became this thing. And this guy was like, "Oh man, it was not easy." And I was like, "It's gonna be easy, bro. You got this." It was not easy, but it built his confidence. He was so proud of himself for doing it. At the end of the day, he just left the remote on the front desk and walked away. And he's like, "You better figure it out." Like they're like, "Oh, I don't know how to figure out this is yours." And he's like, "Just get a post-it note, lady. Like write the number." You know what I mean? Oh
yeah,
man, they just didn't get it. And I think the question guys have is, well, what do I tell them?
yeah,
Like, what do I tell the
yeah,
front desk hostess?
yeah,
A lot of times it's a female.
yeah,
It's like, oh, like, you know, even if it's a guy, it's
yeah,
still like, "Ah." And so I think now what I'm telling people to say is a lot better than probably what I told them before, which we're
yeah,
not even telling them that
yeah,
before. But what I tell them now is, hey, this is a major distraction for me. And I'm here for this conference, for this work trip, and I got to stay focused on everything I have to get done while I'm here. And honestly, it's just a major distraction to have this TV. And I have a hard time saying no. So if you could just take the remote from me while I'm here on this trip, that will be awesome. If you can just put it back in the room, obviously when I check out, that'd be great. I'm sure you have a way of knowing what room this belongs to. Thank you so much. It's not a
yeah,
conversation. I'm not asking for
yeah. It's
permission.
a lot less awkward
It's
and like
not.
shaming
Yeah,
and
yeah. This isn't
embarrassing.
about everything that I'm going to get into. Listen, man, my wife and I, we've had to go. And the guy's like, oh, I'm like, hey, Bob, do you mind being my therapist for the next 30 minutes? Like, this is not what I'm trying to do here, you know?
Gosh, like what is happening?
Oh, can you imagine? Like,
Well, it's a everyday occurrence for somebody who's working at a hotel as a
oh,
receptionist. You know,
oh,
it's
no.
going to catch them off
It
guard,
is. It is.
and it takes so much humility for a husband to do that
It
because it
does.
admits that it's a struggle.
I was so
It
proud of this
admits
guy.
a weakness, right?
Yeah, it does. It's a really humble stance. But I'll say, and right, yes, it's humble stance. Yes, it can be even like, wow, you can't handle having a TV in your room. Like, what's wrong with you? I think today we live in a world that's kind of like we're all tech saturated,
Yeah,
and so we're exhausted, and we just go to it, and it's like scrolling,
for
and you could be
sure.
like, bro, you don't just doom scroll on your phone, dude. I can doom scroll with that TV, and I don't want to do that while I'm
Yeah,
here. And they're like, oh, okay, right.
yeah.
I think it helps them think like, oh, tech doesn't help me, man. Like, you
What a
can make
light,
it.
though. No,
Yeah, right.
like
So,
seriously,
but
really
I'll say
standing
it
out.
built confidence. It builds competency.
For maybe I'm like
What?
maybe I made this up, but like have any of the guys you've coached it to, didn't we hear a story where like they took the TV out of their room or
Yeah,
like
that was like
unplugged
that's
it or
like next
something?
level.
Yeah, I thought I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to do that, but it was just like, wow, okay.
At that point, it might be like you getting charged for
Yeah, yeah,
liabilities,
yeah.
but
But you could unplug it.
you can unplug it. And most of the TVs have a cord that plugs into the TV and into that.
Yeah,
Just take that cord and toss it in the hallway. Find out they can figure out later.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, old school
We're
days
gonna get
before
sued from
smart
like
TVs. Yeah,
hotels.
probably. They're like, all right, I heard your podcast. I did that. They charged me a remote fee. Like, okay, don't do that. Turn it into the front desk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Have the conversation. Have the guts.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
one example, though,
yeah,
of multiple things. And we'll stay on this for a minute. We'll get to number two in a bit. But like, what makes you susceptible?
yeah.
Okay, just to list off, this list is in no sense exhaustive, right? There could be a lot more things on this list, but just to name a few of those things, it's like, okay, what does a plan look like? Well, alcohol could make someone susceptible.
Mm,
So do you cut it out for work trips? Okay, have a boundary around it.
mm,
Go, okay, I'm not gonna drink more than one drink. I'm gonna hold myself accountable to that. I'm gonna have no alcohol while I'm on. I love what you said earlier when we were talking. Don't do anything that makes you not clear minded, sober minded,
yeah,
level headed.
yeah.
What makes you susceptible to temptation? Well, being out late. What if the boundary was I'm going to be make sure I'm in my room and in bed by a certain reasonable hour, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. We're going to do work meetings. Actually, I can be in a hotel room at 9 o'clock, go to bed early. Great, get some extra sleep. The other thing is like what makes you susceptible? Well, not having healthy bookends of my day. A lot of times when I'm traveling for work, it's like, oh, I just jump into all the tasks.
Mm.
I'm up too late. I'm exhausted. I wake up and there's not a rhythm in place that creates health. And so maybe it's actually a healthy boundary is not only what I'm not doing, but it's instilling things in my day that are really good. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to have a quiet time. I'm going to jump into my time with Jesus. I'm going to do prayer. I'm going to read some scripture. I might even text my Bible study group of guys just what I got that day out of my scripture. I'm going to go for a prayer walk. I'm going to pray for some people. I'm going to go get a workout in. You know, if the hotel gym is a thing that's safe, okay, great. If not, go for a run, go outside, go to a park, get some exercise in. Find for me, it's like, oh, I love pickleball. There's so many places to pick up pickleball games and do a walk on. Like, oh, cool. Find something that's really healthy and that's safe,
Good.
that feeds me, and that makes me able to go throughout that day away from my family with the best motives, with the good intentions, and with a healthy perspective. And then at night, bookending that day with ending my day with healthy practices, right? Calling somebody, reaching out to somebody, checking in with my wife and going, oh, I'm gonna do a check-in, let her know how my day went today. How did I keep her safe? What did I do to keep her safe that day? Was I triggered? How did I handle that trigger, which we're gonna get into, right?
Mhm.
But having a bookend going, oh wow, I woke up and I instilled healthy habits, and I'm going to bed instilling healthy habits, and I'm bookending my day, which is setting myself up for success on the trip.
And I feel like when you start your day with something like that, you're immediately already telling your brain and yourself, like, today we're making one decision at a time that's going to like benefit us,
Yeah,
right? Because it is so easy to make a one decision. I'm
yeah,
going to sleep in.
yeah,
And then you're late.
yeah,
And now you don't have your quiet time. You're feeling rushed.
yeah,
You're feeling like one decision,
yep.
you're
Oh, it
saying
all
it
compounds.
compounds.
Yep.
And then now you're grabbing a bar or a
I'm not
crappy
eating a
hotel
breakfast.
muffin
Yeah,
and
I'm
versus
hungry.
the omelet
Yeah,
or, like, and now you're feeling sluggish and now you're feeling tired and like everything compounds when
it's
that
so true.
one decision. And even eating bad
It's funny you bring up travel
makes you feel
food. Oh,
lazy.
totally. Or like, oh, I'm in the airport. I'm just gonna grab a bag of chips. And I'm gonna
Yes.
justify it. And then there's shame. Because remember, shame is the hook,
Mm.
right? Shame is that first thing that says, like, oh man, I made a bad move. I did something bad. I am bad. And so quickly it's like, oh, that the shame is what pulls us into coping
Mm.
with pain, with all that stuff. And so have I done things that create shame already? Have I justified things I probably wouldn't justify a week ago? Am I eating bad? Did I grab the salad or did I get the bagel and cream cheese, extra sugar in this, all this
Mhm.
stuff? And then I'm like, oh, I'm feeling lethargic. I'm feeling
Mhm.
sluggish. It's such a good point you bring up with the food.
And then your mindset and the confidence, right? You're like,
Yeah.
I already made one bad decision, so
Yeah.
now I'm going to make another bad decision. It's so much easier
The
versus
age.
making
Yeah.
a healthy decision.
But if you don't go in to that travel scenario with a plan,
Yeah.
like I think you're just set up to fail. The age old saying, right? Fail to plan, plan to fail.
Yeah.
Like that's just the reality. And so I
Yeah.
think if you go into a trip going, I'm going to eat healthy in the airport. I'm actually going to, we did this recently. We pre-made our breakfast because you can bring food in the
Mhm.
airport, which we've never done all these years, but we've never done it. We like made a healthy breakfast.
Judgment.
Oh yeah. No, it's terrible. Whatever, judge it. I don't care. That's on you. That hurts you, not me. Right. But I think like, oh, like we made a healthy breakfast and we brought it with us. And then we ate our breakfast in the airport. We're like, wow, first of all, we saved so much money
Yeah.
and we ate healthier. It was
There's
so good.
literally never
Good.
healthy, good food in an airport.
Even if it says it's a smoothie place, it's
It's
not always
not.
that healthy. Right. But so I think about that. I'm like, okay, so the plan to fail phrase. Let's go back to the late night thing. The other things are like, oh, I'm never going to be one on one with a female when I'm
Mm.
traveling. I'm not going to stay up late. So if you know that you have committed to the safety plan that you've ran by your accountability group and your wife to be in bed by 10 o'clock, it's much easier when someone says, oh, Clint, we're going to go for drinks. You want to come? We're like, well, I have a one alcohol drink rule or whatever it is. I already did that earlier. Maybe there's no alcohol. I'm like, well, that's kind of gonna be tough. I'm gonna go have a Dr. Pepper. Oh wait, I don't want to have bad stuff, so I can't have that. I'm gonna have a soda water. You know what I mean? It's easier to tell that guy, oh man, I'm good. I don't need to tell him why.
Yeah.
I'm like, I actually have some stuff I got to do. That's not a lie. I do
Yeah.
have stuff I gotta do. I
Yeah.
gotta go to bed at 10 o'clock. I gotta call an accountability guy. I gotta sit down and regulate any triggers that I had that day. I got stuff I gotta do. And it's like, oh, I gotta actually, I can't, man. I got some stuff I gotta get to. It's like, no, I gotta get to my journal and writing down end of day. What did I feel today?
Yeah.
How did I handle it today? I told my
Yeah.
wife I'd call her before I go to bed at night. Even if she doesn't pick up,
And
I gotta call
I
her.
want to say something that I think some listeners could be like, well, if I don't like really like connect with my coworkers on this trip, like, like that's a fail, like a
Sure,
win. I'm supposed to woo them over
sure,
on this trip. Okay, well, are there other ways to woo? Could you grab a lunch
totally.
with them? Could
Ah,
you grab
man,
a morning
yeah,
coffee with them? Could you
so good.
offer breakfast? What are other ways to woo them? It's not just drinks, you know?
Yeah, well, you made me think of another guy I was working with. I was so proud of this guy because he was on a work trip and they actually had a late night drink
Mixer.
mixer with a company they were trying to partner with.
Oh,
That's kind of dicey,
that's hard.
right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like, and he wasn't sure. He thought this might come up and might happen, and he kind of knew like, oh, that might be on the agenda, but they were also at the dinner before. And so he made it a point at the
Mhm.
dinner to sit next to the people, to build a relationship, to make sure he was asking them questions and forming that friendship. And so when that guy was like, hey, we're going to go out for drinks afterward, he was like, oh man, I wish I could. I told my wife I had to get some things. And the guy was like, no worries, dude. It was so great hanging out with you at dinner. He was really intentional
Mm,
with his time
it's good.
in other moments,
It's
like
really
you're
good.
talking about. And they were all going to grab breakfast the next day together.
Really good.
So I think he just knew like there are other times.
Yeah.
I don't need to say yes to everything.
Everything. Yes. So good.
Exactly.
So good.
Yeah. Building that safety plan, I think the first thing we're looking at is what makes you susceptible.
Yeah.
And we just hit on eating
So
healthy,
many.
having calls. The other thing that is super important
Tired.
in this plan is we talked about it briefly, but I didn't really hit on it, and that is accountability. The other ism that we have all the time is that accountability is proactive.
Yes, it
It's not just
is.
reactive.
Come on.
If you haven't
Preach
heard us
it.
say that before, you haven't listened to our other episodes. Go do that now. But I think about that
We are not
accountability.
about reactive accountability.
So, what did that look like? Well, for me and for a lot of the guys I work with and help out, it's like, oh, it's understanding that this safety plan is created before I'm on the airplane.
Mm,
It's not like, oh yeah, you know what? I have a 4 hour flight. I'll create a safety plan then. No, no, no. You're already late to the game. You're already traveling. You're already stuff has already happened
yeah.
in the airport,
Yeah.
whatever's there. And so you got to make sure you're aware of that. The safety plan is done days before I'm ever in the airport in the terminal. The safety plan's written out, and it's something that you've talked about with your wife. You guys have sat there and you've gone, hey, does this make you feel safe? You've given her the chance to go, hey, would you make any modifications to this? Would you add anything to it? Would you take anything away? Is there anything else that you would request that I would add to my plan? The other part is running it by the group of accountability that you're with. So again, for me, it's I'm the husband, so a lot of his talk is like as a husband. But we know that again, this isn't about if you're husband, female, male situation. But for me, it's the accountability group, right? It's going, okay, I ran that by my guys. I will get a weekly meeting with these guys. In that weekly meeting on Thursdays, I said, hey guys, I'm traveling next week. Can I run my safety plan by you? They're gonna be like, yeah, man, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay. I'm gonna call you one of you guys every day. I'm gonna not stay out late. I'm gonna have a no alcohol rule while I'm traveling. My plan is to turn in the remote. Do you guys mind if I text you that day? I check into the hotel at 4 o'clock. I'm gonna text the group. Hey guys, I turned in the remote. Can you guys hold me accountable to that? And can I hold myself accountable to you guys with that? Absolutely, brother. Like, great, good stuff. Okay, good. Now I have these things in place, and then they now know my safety plan. Sometimes guys in our group would just send it to us. Hey guys, I'm going to send it to you today for you guys to look over and just let me know if it's cool. Yeah, good idea. Okay, great. I'm going to send it to you before our meeting and then we'll talk about it on Thursday. Great. But then in addition to that is the idea that it is my responsibility to regulate a trigger.
Yeah.
I'm not going to invite you as my wife into that moment.
Yeah.
We got to understand I need safety. You need safety. I'm not trying to trigger you more than you already are while you're traveling.
So good.
And so the way that I own my recovery,
And vice versa. I'm not going to text you either, right?
yeah,
Like, I'm triggered.
yeah, that would be tough for me if I'm traveling and we're both trying to protect
And
each
you're
other's recovery.
working, right? Like, I don't want to distract you from your work.
But if we, as what we've learned that builds our restorative process and our restoration story, is learning that it's my responsibility to regulate myself. I can support you
Yeah.
when you need to regulate, but if you suck me into that tornado, now I need to go regulate as well.
Yeah.
And same
Well,
thing for
and
you.
I'd say it's easier to support one another when you're face to face doing life together. If you're on a trip, I mean, that's just
It's tough.
really hard.
I think what most betrayed spouses need to know is that the spouse who was unfaithful or previously is able to regulate themselves, and they're not always reliant on you. You're not their
Yeah.
savior, right? They need to figure out, can this person be safe without me?
Yeah.
Do they have habits and boundaries in place that keep them safe? Are they going to honor the vows that we've made in our marriage outside of me? One of the best things they can do. And so, with that in mind, I tell the guys that I'm accountable to, hey guys, I don't think this trip is gonna. I don't think I'm never gonna face a trigger. I'm
Yeah.
I'm anticipating that at some point in these 4 days, in these 2 days, I might have a trigger. Can I reach out to the group and say, hey guys, can one of you chat with me? I'm trying to regulate right now. And my guys are like, absolutely, bro. Like, yes, just text the group. Or, hey guys, are there any of you that you think you might be more available than the others?
Yeah.
And one or two guys like, yeah, man, you can text me. Call me anytime. Okay, awesome. Thanks. Now I know who my first responders are going to
Yeah.
be. And it's not going to be you. I'm not going
Yeah.
to call you. Hey, can you drop everything you're doing with the kids? Can you be here for me? I'm in a yellow circle right now. I'm struggling. That's going to trigger you like
Oh, for
crazy.
sure. For
That's not going
sure.
to help our marriage.
No. No.
But what's going to help our marriage is if I do what I need to do, right? Go to the journal. We have this journal. We have the 7 steps to regulating a trigger that's right there if you've purchased the journal in the past. And man, it's so helpful. Now I know what I can do to regulate a trigger. And then once that's regulated, then I can reach out to you and say,
It's
hey,
good.
Charity, it's the end of the night. We have a check in we're going to do. I'd love to tell you, yes, I was triggered today. This was the trigger. This is how I handled the trigger. This is what I felt. This is what I did. You can trust that I'm doing things to keep you safe.
So good. And sometimes too, would you agree that like voice audios are good? Because like maybe let's say like cool, you have a guys group, but maybe this guy only has one guy, and that
Totally.
he can like confide in, and
Yeah.
like
It's good.
he'll call him, but he doesn't answer, and then he could feel defeated. So would you
Oh, yeah.
say leaving a quick voice audio to this guy, just processing it out loud
Yeah.
with him would help, and hopefully he gives you a call at some point, right?
Yeah.
But like would even help.
That's so good. You know, I think so many people think if they don't pick up, I shouldn't say anything.
Mm.
That is not true. I can't tell you in heavy recovery times when I was triggered, oh my gosh, I was leaving my sponsor voicemails that probably like was like,
Yeah, I don't think they had voice audios
no,
back
they had
then.
no audios, and it was, I don't think this guy minds. His name was Joe. He was amazing, and I bet you they were like, hey, like I bet you every day he's like, why are my voicemails so filled up? Like your inbox has now been full. Like it was probably me.
Yeah.
Oh, Clint called you, and he filled your voicemail inbox with 5-minute voicemails.
Yeah.
I can't say how many times it would say message timed out. I was right in the middle, pouring my heart out. I'm like, oh, sorry, Joe. I got to call you again. You're probably not going to pick up. I'm like, hey, Joe. Yeah, so you didn't pick up, and I left you a long voicemail, but I wasn't done. So anyway, and I would just get back into it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, poor Joe. I don't know if he ever listened to those. He would just call me back. I felt like I knew that I needed to process.
Well, because you're bringing it to light. Like now somebody knows,
Yeah.
regardless if they're responding or
Yeah.
not, they know
Yeah.
what you're going
Yeah.
through.
And I would just process. So the answer to your question, Charity, is absolutely. I mean,
Mm.
there's no doubt about it. You
Mm.
you should absolutely leave a voicemail, send a voice memo, say, here's what's going on. Hey, I had to reach out. This kind of
Good.
happened. This was triggering. This is, obviously you're sharing details. The shame is in the details with your accountability partners.
Yeah.
We're big on those details may not help your relationship, but you have to know that those details were shared with people,
Yeah.
that you brought that shame. The shame has a lot of power in the darkness. It
Yeah.
loses its power when it's brought to the light.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, man, this is what happened. But more importantly than even what happened, this is what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
This is what I felt in my body. This is what I felt in my emotions. And this is what I'm choosing to do to not give in to the temptation that has come up with this situation.
Good. When the spouses are trying to connect, what are we supposed to talk about, right?
Yeah.
And what does that check-in process look like? What are you sharing with me? What am I,
Yeah.
what am I sharing with you?
What do you
And
think?
is it scheduled?
Yeah, what do you think? What's your recommendations? What's your advice and stuff like that?
Best to try and schedule it. For us, we like the nightly check-ins.
Yeah.
We preferred it after like I knew the kids were asleep because it's just really hard to be on the phone with anyone personally
So
when
tough.
I have kids. It's like constant distraction. I can't really be in it, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted with you not there, communication meant more. Like
Mm.
we couldn't just have like a
Couldn't go for a
casual
little walk.
conversation, where and so for me, like depending on your stage of life, but that was at nighttime when I knew that they're going to be asleep and I knew we could connect, even if it was for 5 minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes of undivided attention is incredible.
I love what you said about planning it. Typically, what I've seen is a lot of us know the schedule to an extent
Yeah.
when before we travel.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sometimes that might be hard if, let's say, there is a different schedule. Like, we work with people that work crazy schedules because
Yeah.
they're industries. And so they're actually working, whether they're doing a construction job or they're in an industry that's like, actually, I have to work that night. I'm working nights. Well, then they can't reach out to their spouse in the evening time, but they know, oh, I'm going to be done around this time. Can we connect in the morning before
Yeah.
I go to bed? Or can we connect at lunchtime? And I think what I hear you saying is it's the important piece is not when you do it, it's that it's scheduled
Yeah.
and that both have undivided attention. You're not juggling
Yep.
a kid on each hip,
Yes.
another kid screaming in the
Yeah.
middle of a meal. And I'm like, oh, I'm just chilling right now.
Yeah.
Let's connect. And you're like, yeah, we have to. Clint Charity told us to, so we have to. Like, no,
Yeah.
get it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Know what your schedule's going to look like and find a time, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, longer if you want. If you have it, great. But now, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Is this when he calls and is like, okay, I need to process a trigger. I'm struggling.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
What are they talking about?
For me, I just wanted to obviously every wife wants to know how are you doing, right? And AKA have you
Yeah.
relapsed
What does how you
and
doing mean? Because
am
everyone's
I
like, how you doing? I'm good.
yeah, AKA have you relapsed and are you safe and am I safe? Because if you're not safe, then I'm not safe. And so for what I wanted to know was like, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
And like yeah, what
How
did
have you
you
processed the
how
trigger?
yeah, if there was a trigger, then I wanna hear how you processed it. I don't wanna hear how, like, I was triggered and now I'm in a
Me too.
yellow circle and blah, blah, blah. No, I wanna know, like, "Okay, this is what I was feeling. This is what I did. I already communicated it to my buddy, and I'm feeling really good.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I'm excited to work out and process it more with
Yeah.
Jesus."
Wow, it's good. Can you? I mean, I just think of so many couples. Like, can you imagine
Oh my
if that's the
gosh.
conversation they were having?
Oh.
And then it's like, what is something you enjoyed today?
And it takes the responsibility off me. I'm not
Oh yeah.
and I don't want to be the one checking in
You're
with
trying to
you.
manage
Like
me,
I
right?
don't know. I'm like, how are you doing
Gross.
you?
Yeah.
And how are you taking care of you? And what are you doing for you?
I love it.
Like
Yes.
versus like that is way too much responsibility as a wife. That's not what you should be carrying.
That's
And
not your burden.
you can't carry it because you can't force him to do anything. It has to be him who's making the decisions to do all this.
The other thing about that is if you're a guy, and we're not trying to create shame, right? Like, oh man, Clint, I have struggled with this. Okay. The good news is you can just change.
Change.
You can just make some modifications here and change. And I know that I struggle with that. I struggled with it in the beginning. I didn't understand the roles, but I was ignorant of what you needed.
Yeah.
If I'm calling you and I'm processing things and I'm relying on you to help me process and even help me in my recovery, I am ignorant that you are in recovery as well, that you're healing.
Mm,
I'm ignorant that you can't handle that and then I'm putting something on you that's too heavy.
so good.
I mean, I can't. I just make sure somebody who's carrying something, I'm like, hey, can you carry this? Hey, can you carry this? And they're crumbling under the weight. And I, instead of me thinking that, oh, this is what we should be doing because this is where we're at in our relationship, and she wants to be my accountability partner, and she wants me to tell her everything. I'm thinking, well, okay, I get that. You guys need to figure that out because the reality is you're probably not actually helping her. It could be hurting the relationship.
Yes. Yes.
And in our experience, it is. What's going to help her the most and again, I keep saying her, what's going to help the betrayed spouse the most is knowing that we, as the unfaithful spouse, have regulated, we've figured it out, we've processed it on our own, we have accountability, we have all the things in place that keep them safe.
So good. That's all we want to know.
Yeah, that's what you want to know.
Like, okay, great. Thank you so much.
I love the way you worded that. Am I safe?
Yeah.
Are you safe? Because your safety means I'm safe.
Yeah.
Are you safe? Am I safe? And are we still in recovery? Are we still moving forward
Yeah.
in our progression? I know you
Yeah.
had to travel. Are we still moving forward in our healing journey?
Yeah.
Or have we had setbacks?
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't have setbacks, right?
Yeah. Now, to kind of wrap this up, we just shared a lot.
I never got to that
And
other point, by the way.
oh, you have another one?
I have the other point.
Shoot, go for it. Sorry.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
I'll make it quick.
No, you're good.
The other point was, is there anything that you'd like to add to that safety plan?
Mm,
So it's not
so
just it's
important.
not just the husband knowing what makes
You're
them
saying you're
susceptible.
saying the husband's asking the wife that?
Yeah, I
So
mean
good.
the unfaithful spouse is
Yeah, yeah,
saying, "I
yeah.
know what makes me susceptible, and these are the things."
Yeah.
And then going to the betrayed spouse and saying, "Hey, is there anything else you need
Mm,
in addition to
wow, that's
these?"
so good. We have to say this. Yes.
This is a big one. I
It is
think
big.
because I think about things like, okay, this is an area that, like, okay, I don't know that I need that. Maybe the wife in this state says, well, yeah, I would like for you to send me the bank statement, or whatever. I'd like access to the credit card while you're traveling, so I can make sure there's no charges
Or like a
that are,
picture of the like statement balance of the hotel.
yeah, whatever it is. It's like, well, I've never purchased anything at a hotel before. Like that's never been a part of my acting out. But the wife's like, yeah, but I want that. In fact, I would love a picture of the final bill. When they see the final bill, can you have them add my email to it? Wow. Okay. I've never done it before, but it's a request that's not unreasonable.
Yeah. Say so there's a wife is gonna have a reasonable request
Yeah.
and unreasonable requests,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And there's big differences. But the wife does need to have a say and a voice in this. And because she sees things differently, right? There may
Yeah.
be something that really triggers her that you didn't even realize, right?
Yeah.
Like an airplane, like maybe sitting next to a girl,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that really would trigger her. So then it's a matter of like, I know this triggers me. And then maybe you guys even coming up with a plan together, like,
Yeah.
hey, this triggers me because you've talked to females before, right? So what can we
What's
do?
our plan?
Yeah, what's our plan? And
Yep.
so the wife really needs to check her heart in this conversation and really make sure that they're reasonable requests versus an unreasonable request. An
Yeah.
unreasonable request could be like what? What would you say are some unreasonable requests? Maybe.
Well, I mean, I think one thing you talk about, like, okay, what's unreasonable? At some point, it's really hard to be like, oh, I want to manage your entire trip,
Mm,
right? And so
yeah.
sometimes a wife's like, well, okay, I need to know that you're where you are, said you're going to be every time. So like at
Mm,
10 o'clock you're here, and 11 o'clock you're here, and you need to send me a picture of where you are on the hour, every hour while you're on this work trip. And I want to see a picture of where you're at and who you're with.
wow.
You're like,
Yeah, that's a lot.
oh man, that's tough. Like,
Yeah.
here's the board meeting I'm at, and this guy takes a lot of selfies. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be really hard. And then what happens is when you commit to something that you can't follow through with, it looks like you're uncommitted.
Mm,
It
that's
looks like
good.
you don't care about her safety.
That's
And
good.
I think you have to go, well, that's maybe where a counselor steps in or a coach steps in and goes, what's reasonable, what's unreasonable? Because the reality is you can have reasonable requests. Hey, I want to make a phone call every day to one of my recovery guys. I want to make sure that I call you every day with a check-in. I want to make sure that you know that the top three feelings that I felt
It's
today.
really good.
Obviously, a slip or relapse is absolutely told, and those are like, oh, that's reasonable. Yep. If you do anything that breaks safety, I want to know even while you're on this trip.
Yeah.
I want to know right away.
Yeah.
I want our 24-hour rule went to a 1 hour rule. If you did something, I want to know within the next 1 hour, 2 hour that you broke our trust because I don't want to wait
It's good.
for you to come back. Okay, well, all right. So I think there's those kinds of things, but it's understanding what's reasonable, what's unreasonable, and a yes to a request builds trust.
It does.
If it's a reasonable request, it builds trust.
Yeah, you're right.
If she says, I know that your alcohol's never been a problem for you ever, but while you're on a business trip, can you not have alcohol? Can you just say like, oh, I want to be focused on this trip, and I promised my wife I wouldn't drink while I'm on the trip. Man, it's super humbling. It takes a lot of humility.
Yeah.
And these moments, like the remote control, those things like, oh, I'm going to do this. Yes, it's not easy for anybody to do, but what do you truly want?
So good.
What is the outcome you absolutely desire? All the time when we're making choices, the choice always comes down to what is our highest priority. And if our highest priority in our life one of them right now is rebuilding trust, rebuilding safety, restoring a relationship with our spouse and our kids and our family. Those things are petty.
So good.
Those things aren't that big of a deal, especially if they're reasonable.
Yeah.
So I think it's all about each couple going, okay, let's build these safety plans. Hopefully you take time to go, all right, what does that look like? How do we do it? That was what I wanted to bring in.
So good.
That was my next point.
Oh, that was much needed. So, for the listener who's heard all this, they could probably feel really overwhelmed, right?
Yeah, probably.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
mm,
Don't feel shame, but even like, oh wow.
yeah. What would you say to them to give them a sense of encouragement that this is worth it,
Hmm.
that this matters?
Well, I mean, what's the alternative? So many times I broke your trust and I acted out on trips, even with you gone for work trips.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't just a travel plan of like when I'm gone. It's like, hey, Clint, how are you staying safe with Charity being gone,
Yeah.
with her
Or a
corporate
girls'
job?
trip.
Yep. Or going for a girls' trip. She's been gone for the weekend. And I think what we learned is every time there's travel and there's a safety plan. And I hated that. I hated you coming back from a weekend with girls, having a great time,
Yeah.
only to come back and within an hour, I'm like, hey, we need to talk.
Yeah.
I
Like,
mean, it made you never want to leave again.
oh, for sure. I think, to your point, like a sense of maybe you feel like embarrassed, by doing some of these things, but like a temporary feeling of embarrassment for building trust with your wife that's going to last forever.
I mean, I'll never forget coming back from a trip and not breaking trust. And the question you had, obviously we talked, but you knew when I got back, like I had to tell it to you again, like, hey, I just want you to know, like, it was a great trip. It was a great trip. And I honored you and I protected you and I was safe and I called people. And there were moments, right? There were moments that were hard, but I reached out to people and I was accountable and I was honest. And because of that, I enjoyed the trip. And I came back and I got to tell you all the wonderful things about the trip.
Yeah.
And you felt so safe and protected. You're like, wow, that's possible.
Yeah.
And then you went on a girls' trip. And I was like, hey, I was safe and I didn't break boundaries and I didn't have the TV on while you were gone. And if I did, there was a camera in front of it from the moment, and there was boundaries we had created. And to be like, wow, that was amazing. We can still have a marriage after betrayal.
So good.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, we don't have to this period of our life, of our marriage. It's not our forever story. We say it all the time, like, yeah, this painful season of betrayal and all this stuff, even if it's the first, maybe it's the first half of the book, and you're like, oh, we've been married for 20 years, Clint, and we'd like to go to 40, but 20 years been tainted. Okay, I get it. But it doesn't have to be the next 20 years.
Yeah.
There can be trips, there could be travel, there could be this. There could be her going on a girl's trip, me going on a guy's trip with safe people, knowing that we're going to protect each other and coming back and be like, that was an amazing trip.
Yeah.
Nothing broke trust. I don't want to call it like a sense of normalcy. Every couple's like, can I have a sense of normalcy? Listen, I don't think anybody wants normal. I don't know what normal is. Normal's high divorce rates. Normal's not great.
Totally.
But you want a marriage that's thriving, and you can get there with things like this. A small practice, a small habit change, but a big impact, a big outcome. It's worth it.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's
Agreed.
worth
I
it.
agree. So good.
Do you approve this message?
Approve this message.
Hey, we are so grateful you guys are with us. I mean, so much of this is here with Restored to More because you guys are a part of it.
Yeah.
You're the ones faithfully listening. You're donating. You're following. You're liking. You're subscribing, and we just want to say thank you. Like,
Yeah.
just thank you for being a part of the story. We want to be here for you as
And if
much as we can be here for you. Let us know. Go to the Ask Us Anything page. Ask us anything. What are we going to share?
If you're not a part of it and you're like, gosh, I want to be a part of Restored to More. Well, there's so many ways,
Oh,
right?
man.
You can follow us on social media. You can write a review for our podcast.
That'd be
That
great.
helps. Awesome.
Absolutely.
You can get asked to be on our email list. We send out emails weekly. We have so many
Weekly,
awesome weekly. I've
wow.
sent them out weekly.
Look at you.
We have so many great resources. And if you're like, gosh, I want to bring Restore to More to my church, let's have a conversation,
Yeah,
right? There are so many ways. Donating. I mean, we'd love to meet you. We'd love to chat with you. We'd love for you to be a part of the Restore to More family.
We have the courses that are going on right
Yep.
now. If you're like, I want to learn how to get there, and course one's a great option. We have people leading it all the time
Yeah.
in person, on Zoom.
Yep.
It's all over.
Yeah.
Check us out, restoredtomore.com. You can get it. We are so grateful for you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.